Hello everyone, welcome to the Fundamental Pharmacy. Again, I have come up with a new video for you. All GPAT Niper DI Pharmacist aspirant. In today's video lecture, we are going to see Cracker MCQ series part 9. Friends, this video is going to be very useful, knowledge oriented for you. And as far as GPAT 2021 is concerned, this video is very important. So it's my request to all of you, please watch the complete video. If you think the content of video is very good, then please don't forget to like the video, share the video with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe the channel and press the bell icon so that whenever I will upload a new video on our channel, you will get a instant notification of that. So without wasting time friends, I will like to start the फंडामेंटल फार्मेसी के आज के इस वीडियो लेक्चर में आप सबों का स्वागत है। आज हम जानने वाले हैं कि क्रैकर एमसीक्यू सीरीज का पार्शियल ओपियोइड एगोनिस्ट ड्रग्स आर। ऑप्शन इज पार्शियल ओपियोइड एगोनिस्ट ड्रग्स आर एंड योर ऑप्शंस आर पेथिडीन, ऑप्शन ए इज मॉर्फिन मेथाडोन पेथिडीन, ऑप्शन बी इज बुप्रेमॉर्फिन एंड मेप्टेजिनॉल, देन ऑप्शन सी इज पेंटाजोसिन नाल्बुफेन, ऑप्शन डी इज नन ऑफ द अबव. So in this case, your correct answer is option B. Partial opioid agonist are. So what are the examples of partial opioid agonist from the options? From these option B, buprenorphine and meperidazole is the examples. They are the examples of partial opioid analgesic. Okay. So you should know where there are different opioid analgesics. So they are classified in this order. Okay. So opioid means what? They are the derivative of opium. They are the alkaloids obtained from Papaver somniferum family Papaveraceae. They are present in the latex of opium poppy. I think one question will be covered here. Second, now what are the classes of opioid agonist or opioid analgesics? Okay, so they are naturally occurring, they are synthetic. Okay, so naturally occurring example like morphine, codeine. Okay, and then again, what is the difference between structure of morphine and codeine? There is only one difference, that is nothing but the methyl group in codeine. There is a methoxy group in codeine instead of hydroxyl. So morphine is a dihydroxyl. Morphine has a 2-hydroxyl group in its structure. Okay. So replacement of methyl group or methylation of 1-hydroxyl group will lead to formation of codeine. That is a methoxy. Methoxy morphine is nothing but the codeine. Okay. Again, second question covered. Third question, diacetyl morphine. Diacetyl derivative of your morphine is known as a heroin. Okay, so diacetyl morphine is nothing but the heroin. Okay, all these are the morphine and codeine are the naturally occurring. Heroin is a synthetic. Okay, pethidine is there, fentanyl is there, methadone is there, loperamide is there. Okay, then again opioid antagonists are there like naloxone, naltrexone, then mixed agonist antagonist like pentazocine. Okay, so all these are the opioid agonist. Okay, so out of these opioid analgesics drugs, what are the partial opioid agonists? So buprenorphine and meperidazole. Buprenorphine and meperidazole, both these drugs are the partial opioid agonist. So buprenorphine and meperidazole, that is a partial opioid agonist. So for example, methadone is your full agonist. Okay, then buprenorphine is a and meperidazole is a partial opioid agonist. Okay, then antagonist means what? Naltrexone. So methadone is, there are different receptor for opioid drugs. Okay, so mu receptor, kappa receptor and delta receptor. Okay, so each and every drug will have either agonistic activity all the receptors or to the few receptors, mu receptor, kappa receptor and delta receptor. So methadone has a full agonistic activity mu receptor. Now buprenorphine, your buprenorphine has a partial agonistic activity to the kappa receptors and delta receptor. Okay, so buprenorphine is a partial agonist of mu, kappa and delta receptor. Okay, so option B, buprenorphine and meperidazole, they are the partial agonist of mu receptor, kappa receptor and delta receptor. Morphine, methadone, pethidine, rest of the things are there full agonist to the mu receptor. In this case your answer is option B. Is that clear? Now we will see दूसरा क्वेश्चन क्या है आपका. Adverse effects of morphine includes, and your options are option A constipation, hypotension, B urinary retention tolerance, option C drug dependence and meiosis, option D all of the above. So in this case your answer is all of the above. Okay, so all are the adverse effect of morphine. You should remember the adverse effect of morphine. So what are they? So morphine adverse effect includes, listen, meiosis. Meiosis means pinpoint pupil. Okay, so if there is a morphine addict, he will have always pinpoint pupil. Okay, so that is because of meiosis. Okay, so pinpoint pupil, meiosis. The morphine has a depressant effect on cardiovascular system, so that's why hypotension will result. Okay, then again pain suppression, histamine release, hormonal release, then increased intracranial tension. Okay, increased intracranial pressure, then again nausea, vomiting, sedation, euphoria, then urinary retention, and then again constipation. Okay, again constipation. All these are the adverse effect of morphine. Okay, so constipation is because of that delta receptor present on the muscles of your intestine and that causes the constipation, and this adverse effect of morphine is one of the adverse effect, that is constipation. It's beneficial in other condition. Okay, so for example, if you are suffering from diarrhea, so in that case the constipation as a adverse effect of morphine is clinically useful. Okay, so एक कंडीशन में जो constipation adverse effect है morphine का, वो दूसरे कंडीशन में यूजफुल हो सकता है. तो इसके हिसाब से ये सब ध्यान में रखते ही एक ड्रग मॉडिफाई किया और ड्रग से सिंथेटिक ड्रग बनाया, उसको बोलते हैं लोपेरामाइड. ओके, सो लोपेरामाइड is a semi-synthetic derivative of morphine and it is used in the case of diarrhea. It is used in the treatment of diarrhea. Okay, so here again your 2 or 3 questions are covered. 2-3 क्वेश्चन यहाँ पे भी कवर हो जाएंगे आपके. ओके, so what is next question? Morphine antagonist drug is, okay, morphine antagonist drug is are. What are the antagonist drugs of morphine? Your options are option A naloxone, option B nalorphine, option C naltrexone, option D all of the above. Okay, so option A naloxone, option B nalomorphine, option C naltrexone, option D all of the above. So in this case also again your answer is all of the above. Okay, so naloxone, nalorphine, naltrexone all are the antagonist of morphine. So naloxone is a specific competitive antagonist to the all receptors. Okay, all receptors means mu receptor, kappa receptor, delta receptor. So naloxone is a competitive antagonist to all receptor. Even naltrexone is also competitive antagonist to all receptor. Antagonist to few receptor, particularly mu receptor. Okay, so morphine antagonist includes all of the above. So in this case your answer is all of the above. ये इनका सभी example option A, B, C, they are the morphine antagonist. Okay, now we will take a next question. So what is your next question? N-acetylcysteine used in the poisoning of. N-acetylcysteine किसके poisoning में use होता है? Your options are acetylsalicylic acid, that means aspirin, acetylsalicylic acid, then option B phenylbutazone, option C indomethacin, option D acetaminophen. So in this case ये question में आपका आंसर है option D. Option D is the correct answer in this question. How I will explain, don't worry. So N-acetylcysteine is used in the poisoning of acetaminophen. So acetaminophen is also known as paracetamol. Okay, so paracetamol, here is one question cover. Second question, paracetamol is para-hydroxyphenyl derivative. Okay, it is a phenol derivative. Second question cover, it is a analgesic antipyretic. Okay, it is not an anti-inflammatory. Third question cover. Okay, what is mechanism? It is a selective COX3 inhibitor in the brain that is responsible for its antipyretic effect. Question 4 cover. So what is the main adverse effect of paracetamol? So it has a liver toxicity. It will cause a damage to the liver, hepatotoxicity, what we call it as hepatotoxicity. And why it is a hepatotoxicity? You want to know the reason behind the toxicity of paracetamol. Paracetamol क्यों toxic है, liver toxicity क्यों करता है paracetamol? So you should know the reason behind it. So what is the reason? So for that you should know what is metabolism of paracetamol and how paracetamol is excreted from the body. वो मेटाबोलाइज कैसा होता है और कैसे आप उसका एक्सक्रीशन होता है, ये अगर आपको पता होगा तो you can easily understand the reason behind the paracetamol poisoning. Okay, so I will explain, don't worry. So what is the reason behind the hepatotoxicity of paracetamol? I will explain. So your paracetamol is metabolized in the liver. Okay, so it is metabolized mainly by conjugation. It is mainly metabolized by conjugation, that is the phase second. So phase first reactions are oxidation, hydrolysis and reduction. Okay, so here again your third question is covered. Okay, phase second metabolism, that is a synthetic reaction. That is synthetic reaction means what? Glucouronic acid conjugation, sulfate conjugation, or methylation or acetylation. Okay, so here your paracetamol is metabolized and excreted by conjugation with glucouronic acid or glutathione conjugation. Okay, so you see, so paracetamol is metabolized in the liver, and it is one of the metabolite of paracetamol, that is CYP450 enzyme will metabolize your paracetamol into N-acetylparabenzoquinone imine, NPQI. What we call it is NPQI. That is a toxic metabolite. This N-acetylparabenzoquinone imine will react with hepatocytes, will react with hepatic cell. ये N-acetylparabenzoquinone imine, ये जो मेटाबोलाइट होता है, क्यों होता है कि पैरासिटामोल का मेटाबॉलिज्म जो होगा कौन करेगा? उसका CYP450 एंजाइम्स, वो क्या करता है? NPQI बनाता है. और ये NPQI जो होता है, वो NPQI दैट इज अ टॉक्सिक मेटाबोलाइट ऑफ पैरासिटामोल. ठीक है, वो मेटाबोलाइज क्या करता है? रिएक्ट्स विद हेपेटोसाइट्स, जो लिवर के सेल्स होते हैं आपके, उसके साथ रिएक्ट करेगा और उसको डैमेज करेगा. ठीक है, सो ये NAPQI, that is N-acetylparabenzoquinone imine, that is a toxic metabolite of paracetamol and it should be removed from body. So उसको रिमूव करने के लिए मैकेनिज्म होता है आपकी बॉडी में. So what is the mechanism? ग्लूटाथायोन के साथ कॉन्जुगेशन होता है उसका, और उसको इनएक्टिवेट किया जाता है और उसको रिमूव किया जाता है. ठीक है, सो जो टॉक्सिक मेटाबोलाइट होता है पैरासिटामोल का, N-acetylparabenzoquinone imine, उसका रिमूवल प्रोसेस क्या है? वो कॉन्जुगेशन फॉर्म करेगा किसके साथ? ग्लूटाथायोन के साथ, और उसको बॉडी में से रिमूव किया जाएगा. ठीक है, जो भी पैरासिटामोल पॉइजनिंग होती है उस टाइम पे क्या होता है? ग्लूटाथायोन का ये होता है क्या? डिप्लीशन होता है. डिप्लीशन मतलब ग्लूटाथायोन अवेलेबल नहीं होता है. देयर इज अ डिप्लीशन ऑफ ग्लूटाथायोन in case of paracetamol poisoning. So now what we have to do in case of poisoning? You have to supply that glutathione from outside. Okay, and how can you supply? That is, now your N-acetylcysteine will come in a picture. यहाँ पे N-acetylcysteine का रोल है. तो N-acetylcysteine आपका जो है एंटीडोट फॉर द पैरासिटामोल पॉइजनिंग, तो वो क्या करेगा? वो आपको आपके बॉडी के लिए ग्लूटाथायोन का सप्लाई करेगा. So N-acetylcysteine will supply glutathione to our body so that toxic metabolite will form a conjugation with glutathione and it will be excreted in the form of cysteine and marpectopuric acid conjugates. Okay, so that's how your N-acetylcysteine will act as a antidote for paracetamol poisoning. यहाँ पे आपका 5वां क्वेश्चन कवर होता है. Now again, so N-acetylcysteine is a antidote for paracetamol. Okay, again methionine, there is one amino acid known as methionine. Okay, methionine, cysteine, so they will also act as an antidote for this paracetamol poisoning. यहाँ पे आपका 6 क्वेश्चन कवर होता है. So in this question itself we are covering 6 question. Okay, so N-acetylcysteine is used in the poisoning of paracetamol. Okay. यहाँ पे अगेन आपको ये याद में रखना चाहिए कि इंडोमिथाइसिन, it is indole acetic acid derivative and it has a adverse effect of frontal headache. Okay, frontal headache is an adverse effect of indomethacin, and this indomethacin is used as an analgesic, antibiotic, anti-inflammatory. In the most of cases it is used in the gout. It is used in the gout. Okay, I will take a next question. I think it is enough for this question number 4. Next question is question number 5, that is mefenamic acid is used in the which condition? And your options are dysmenorrhea, menstrual bleeding, analgesia and all of the above. So in this case also your answer is all of the above, option D. Okay, so mefenamic acid is used in the condition of all of the above. Okay, so mefenamic acid, what is mefenamic acid? If you remember the classification of anti-inflammatory drugs, if you remember the classification of non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, then you will came to know what is mefenamic acid. Okay, so it is a N-anthranilic acid derivative. It is a anthranilic acid derivative, and commonly they are known as a phenamates. Okay, so phenamates or phenamic acid derivative. So they are commonly known as phenamates. So what are the examples of this? Mefenamic acid, fluphenamic acid. All these are the examples of phenamates. Okay, mefenamic acid, then meclophenamate sodium, then your fluphenamic acid. All these are the phenamic acid derivative. Now these drugs are analgesic, anti-inflammatory and antipyretic. Okay, so that are used in the dysmenorrhea. Dysmenorrhea is a condition where there is dysmenorrhea is the condition where there is a irregular menstrual bleeding and menstrual bleeding associated with inflammation and pain. Dysmenorrhea. Okay, in this drug is used in the dysmenorrhea as well as menstrual bleeding. This question, your answer is all of the above. Okay, what are the indications and adverse effect of this mefenamic acid? Okay, so this mefenamic acid is analgesic, antipyretic, and it has a weak anti-inflammatory act. It will act via inhibition of prostaglandin synthesis. So what are the common adverse effect of mefenamic acid? So remember, one of the most important adverse effect of these phenamates, they will cause a diarrhea. They will cause a diarrhea, epigastric distress, skin rash, and other common adverse effects. Okay, so they are used in the muscle, joint, and soft tissue pain. Again, along with your dysmenorrhea and menstrual bleeding. Okay, the pain caused by dysmenorrhea and pain caused in the menstrual bleeding. Okay, so is that clear? ये क्वेश्चन में भी आपका कम से कम 3 क्वेश्चन कवर हो चुका है. So we will take a 6th question. What are the examples of COX2 inhibitors drugs? So examples of COX2 inhibitor drugs are, your options are: option A nimesulide, meloxicam; option B nabometon, valdecoxib; option C celecoxib, repocoxib; and option D all of the above. In this question also your answer is all of the above. So how I will explain? So you will say, sir कैसे हो सकते हैं, COX2 inhibitor तो सिर्फ कॉक्सी पे, तो अब यहाँ पे nimesulide ऑप्शन है, meloxicam है. There are two enzymes involved in the formation of your prostaglandins. Okay, and prostaglandins, they are nothing but the mediators of pain and inflammation. Okay, so जो prostaglandin बनता है जब भी आपको कोई इंजरी होती, whenever there is a injury to you, so arachidonic acid का रिलीज होगा. ये 20 कार्बन आइटम वाला arachidonic acid है, कहाँ से रिलीज होगा? वो that is released from the phospholipid bilayer of your cell membrane. Okay, जहाँ पे जो सेल मेम्ब्रेन होता है उसमें phospholipid bilayer होता है, वहां से वो रिलीज होगा और उसका एक मैकेनिज्म स्टार्ट होगा, उसका कन्वर्जन स्टार्ट होगा. ठीक है, सो दैट arachidonic acid will be taken by two enzymes, that is a COX1 and COX2. COX1 means what? Cyclooxygenase. COX1 means cyclooxygenase 1, COX2 means cyclooxygenase 2. Okay, so यहाँ पे जो दो एंजाइम होते हैं COX1 COX2. एंजाइम COX2 इज अ इंड्यूसिबल एंजाइम. ठीक है, जो COX1 होता है उसका रोल होता है, COX1 हैज अ हाउस कीपिंग रोल, COX2 हैज अ इन्फ्लेमेशन एंड न्यूरोप्लासिया role in the inflammation and neoplasia. Okay, so inhibition of COX1 will result in the GIT ulceration, because this COX1 is involved in the formation of your gastric mucosa. COX1 का रोल क्या है? COX1 का रोल है कि आपके गैस्ट्रिक म्यूकोसा को बनाना, वहां पे प्रोटेक्टिव फंक्शन है उसका रोल है प्लेटलेट एग्रीगेशन में भी. ठीक है, एंडोथेलियम में, एंडोथेलियम मींस इनर लेयर ऑफ योर ब्लड वेसल, सो उसका रोल है एंडोथेलियम में प्लेटलेट एग्रीगेशन. ओके, so most of the anti-inflammatory drugs, they are non-selective COX inhibitor. Non-selective COX inhibitor means they will inhibit COX1 as well as COX2. Traditional inflammatory drugs है non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, so NSAIDs, so they will inhibit non-selectively COX1 and COX2. Okay, so COX1 inhibitors means all NSAIDs. Come to the role of COX2. So what is the role of COX2? So that arachidonic acid formed will be converted into prostaglandins and prostacyclins using your COX2. Okay, so main enzyme that is involved in the generation of or secretion of inflammatory mediators. आपको जो इन्फ्लेमेशन होगा, आपको जो पेन होगा, आपको जो सूजन होगी, उसके लिए कौन रिस्पॉन्सिबल है? मैक्सिमम इज अ COX2. ओके, so inhibition of COX2 will relieve your symptoms. Okay, so that's why selective COX2 inhibitors, they are very good and analgesic anti-inflammatory drugs. Okay, so in this case your answer is all of the examples of COX2 inhibitors are all of the above. Now we'll take a next question. ठीक है, इस क्वेश्चन में भी आपका बहुत सारा क्वेश्चन कवर हो चुका है. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन क्या है आपका? व्हाट इज योर नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन? दैट इज क्वेश्चन नंबर 7. Selective COX2 inhibitors are. Now your options are slide meloxicam, option B nabomethone, option C celecoxib, refocoxib, vadecoxib. Okay, and option D all of the above. So in this case your correct answer is option C. In this case your correct answer is option C. So now they are asking about the selective COX inhibitor. Means selective COX2 inhibitor means what? They will particularly inhibit the only COX2 enzyme. Okay, and that COX2 enzyme is responsible for the formation of prostaglandin and prostacyclins from arachidonic acid. So inhibition of this enzyme will prevent the pain and inflammation. Remember, okay, this enzyme. So all the coxibs, celecoxib, your refocoxib, vadecoxib, etrocoxib, all the coxibs are the selective COX2 inhibitors. Okay, are very beautiful, analgesic and promising anti-inflammatory drugs. लेकिन they are not routinely used. They are not much used. क्यों? क्योंकि उनके साइड इफेक्ट्स है. कौन सी साइड इफेक्ट है? They have side effects on cardiovascular system. They will cause arrhythmia. They will cause myocardial infarction. They will cause torsade points. So irregular heartbeat. They will cause arrhythmia. So that's why they are limitedly used. Okay, but they are very good analgesic anti-inflammatory agents. So you must be able to differentiate between COX1 and COX2. Again, जब भी आपको कोई इंजुरी होती है, वहां से जब भी आपको कोई इंजुरी होती है, वहां के जो लेयर है फॉस्फोलिपिड बाइलेयर ऑफ योर सेल मेम्ब्रेन, वहां से एराचिडोनिक एसिड रिलीज होगा. वो एराचिडोनिक एसिड उसके बाद में कन्वर्जन होगा उसका डिफरेंट मीडिएट्स में. तो वो कौन करेगा? वो करेगा साइक्लोऑक्सीजिनेज. उसके कितने टाइप होते हैं? 2. साइक्लोऑक्सीजिनेज मींस कॉक्स एंजाइम. उसके 2 टाइप होते हैं, COX1, COX2. सो COX1 इज अ और constitutive enzyme. Okay, COX1 is a constitutive, COX2 is a inducible. COX1 has a role of housekeeping, COX2 has a role of generation of inflammatory mediators. Okay, ये आपको समझ में आना चाहिए. ठीक है, COX1 का रोल क्या है, COX2 का रोल क्या है. सो आपको ये समझ में आएगा कि पेन और इन्फ्लेमेशन रिड्यूस करने के लिए COX2 इनहिबिट करना जरूरी है, नॉट अ COX1. बट COX1, ठीक है, तो selective COX1 inhibitors are not available. Okay, analgesic antipyretic drugs. So non-selective COX inhibitors or selective COX2 inhibitors, they are useful in the reduction of pain and inflammation. That's why. Okay, so remember here coxibs are the COX2 inhibitors, selective COX2 inhibitor. Okay, and in the previous question, this all the non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, they are non-selective COX inhibitor. Okay, that means they will inhibit COX1 as well as COX2. Okay, ये दोनों क्वेश्चन में आपको 2-4 क्वेश्चन कवर हो जाए. Now what is your next question? Vacuum is applied in the which type of tablet? What is your next question? Vacuum is applied in the which type of tablets? And your options are compressed tablet, sugar coated tablet, multi-layer or bilayer tablet. Option D, film coated tablet. And in this case your correct answer is option C, that is a multi-layer or bilayer tablet. So how I will explain you, don't worry. So what do you mean by bilayer tablet? There will be two layer distinct layer, okay, on the tablet. If it is a multi-layer, there will be more than 2 layer, 3 or 4 layers on the tablet. Okay, but why there is need of manufacturing or why there is a need of formulating multi-layer tablet? So bilayer tablets can be primarily the option. It will be the primary option to avoid the incompatibilities. If suppose that you want to compress the tablet paracetamol plus ibuprofen, and this paracetamol and ibuprofen, if it is incompatible to each other, then what will you do? You will compress paracetamol tablet, pre-compression of paracetamol tablet, and ibuprofen tablet separately. So ibuprofen will be compressed separately, paracetamol will be compressed separately, and then final compression will be done. Incompatibilities. So there are certain advantages of this bilayered or multi-layer tablet. So release of both drug will start immediately. If you compress both drugs separately in a bilayer tablet, the release of both drug will start immediately. Bilayer tablet is suitable for incompatible APIs. So if you are taking incompatible API, then you must formulate a bilayer tablet. Again, this bilayer or multi-layer tablet can be formulated as a novel drug delivery system. Okay, can be formulated as a sustained release formulation. Okay, so that's why bilayered or multi-layer tablets are formed. Okay, again there is one advantage. There is a reduction of pills burden. Reduction of pill burden means what? So suppose that you are taking propranolol plus hydrochlorothiazide. So you have to take separate tablet of propranolol and hydrochlorothiazide. So you have to take 2 tablets to control the blood pressure. But suppose that a propranolol and your hydrochlorothiazide compressed separately, and then final compression is done into bilayer tablet. That means instead of taking two tablets, you are taking only 1 tablet. Okay, so there is the reduction of pill burden. Okay, now I will explain. So suppose that आपने क्या किया कि पैरासिटामोल को कंप्रेशन किया. ओके, और कंप्रेशन करने के समय में क्या होता है, बहुत ही ज्यादा डस्ट जमा होता है. सो देयर विल बी डस्टिंग, देयर विल बी फाइन पार्टिकल्स. So in that case you have to remove the dust. Okay, so you have to remove the dust by using vacuum. Okay, so vacuum से आप उसको dust को remove कर सकते हो ताकि वो dust आपके दूसरे API में न जाए और incompatibility न हो. So now ibuprofen का अलग से compression करेंगे और finally both tablet का compression करेंगे. ठीक है, so vacuum is applied in multi-layer or bilayer tablet. Okay, remember. Now next question. Reverse phase chromatography consists of. So reverse phase chromatography consists of. Options are polar stationary phase, non-polar stationary phase, cellulose stationary phase, and none of the above. What is normal phase chromatography? Remember, in case of normal phase chromatography, your stationary phase is polar and mobile phase is non-polar. In case of reverse phase chromatography, your stationary phase is non-polar and mobile phase is polar. Okay, in case of normal phase chromatography, your stationary phase is polar and mobile phase is non-polar. In case of reverse phase, your stationary phase is non-polar, remember. Okay, and mobile phase is polar. Okay, so in this case your answer is option B. I will explain it again, don't worry. So what happens in normal phase chromatography? Normal phase chromatography in 1970s, most of the liquid chromatography was carried out using non-modified silica or alumina. Okay, as a stationary phase. So non-modified silica or alumina was used to separate the most of the separation in the early 1970s. The polar, okay, the silica and alumina was used to be a polar. Most of the polar compounds, they used to have more affinity towards the stationary phase. That's why they are known as a normal. And in case of reverse phase, so that polar stationary phase is modified into non-polar, and modification is done by using non-polar solvents like your benzene. So you can modify your polar stationary phase into non-polar by application of benzene. Okay, so in this case, in case of non-polar, the introduction of alkyl side chain bonded covalently with the support surface. So in case of normal phase, there was a retention of polar compounds, and in case of reverse phase, there is a retention of non-polar compound. Now in this reverse phase chromatography, polar compounds will be eluted faster than non-polar compounds. Okay, reverse phase में और normal phase में क्या होता है? Normal phase में आपका stationary phase जो होता है वो polar होता है और mobile phase non-polar होता है. और रिवर्स फेज में क्या होता है? आपका स्टेशनरी फेज जो होता है वो नॉन पोलर होता है और मोबाइल फेज पोलर होता है. इज दैट क्लियर? इसमें भी आपका 2-3 क्वेश्चन कवर हो गया. वी विल टेक अ नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. व्हाट इज नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन? स्टेटमेंट अबाउट द कार्बिडोपा, ए ड्रग यूज्ड इन द पार्किंसन डिजीज, एंड योर ऑप्शंस आर. ऑप्शन ए डोपा डी कार्बोक्सिलेज इनहिबिटर, ऑप्शन बी combined with the levodopa, option C prevents the peripheral metabolism of levodopa, and option D all of the above. So you should know what is Parkinsonism. In this case your answer is all of the above, option D again here. So in this case your answer is all of the above. I will explain, don't worry. You should know what is Parkinsonism. Parkinsonism means there is a deficiency of dopamine, there is a degeneration of dopaminergic neurons. Okay, so there is a वहां पे dopaminergic neuron जो होता है उसका degeneration होता है और उसकी वजह से डोपामाइन का लेवल बॉडी में कम होता है ब्रेन में. तो उसकी वजह से क्या होता है, मसल रिजिडिटी, ट्रिमर्स, ओके, ट्रिमर्स, मसल रिजिडिटी, एंड देन इनएबिलिटी टू बैलेंस द बॉडी, देन देयर विल बी इनकरेक्शन ऑफ पोस्चर. सो ये जो सिम्टम्स मिलते हैं वो क्यों मिलते हैं? There is a deficiency of dopamine. Okay, so you have to replace your dopamine. So how you can replace? In that case you have to use dopamine, and you know dopamine is ineffective orally because it is a biogenic amine and it can be destroyed by gastric acid and various enzymes. Dopamine is ineffective orally. तो dopamine तो effective नहीं है, तो उसके साथ में क्या करेंगे फिर? levodopa देंगे. Okay, so levodopa is effective orally. तो levodopa इफेक्टिव होता है. तो levodopa जब भी देंगे तो मोस्ट ऑफ द फ्रैक्शन ऑफ levodopa, जब भी आप levodopa देंगे जो पेरिफेरल ब्लड होता है आपका, तो ब्लड में एक एंजाइम रहता है दैट इज नोन एज डोपा डी कार्बोक्सिलेज. तो जब भी आप levodopa देंगे ये डोपा डी कार्बोक्सिलेज नाम का एंजाइम जो होता है वो क्या करेगा, वो levodopa को मेटाबोलाइज करेगा. ठीक है, तो levodopa अगर मेटाबोलाइज हो गया तो वो बायोलॉजिकली एक्टिव नहीं रहेगा, तो फिर क्या फायदा क्या होगा पार्किंसनिज्म में? सो देयर विल बी नो इफेक्ट ऑफ levodopa if it is metabolized by dopa decarboxylase. And what is our aim? Our aim in case of Parkinsonism is to increase the dopamine level in the brain. Now this carbidopa, there is another drug known as carbidopa. Carbidopa क्या करता है? Carbidopa will inhibit the dopa decarboxylase. Okay, it will inhibit the dopa decarboxylase so that dopa decarboxylase will not be available to metabolize the levodopa, and that's why ultimately your levodopa level is increased in the brain. What is levodopa? Levodopa is nothing but it is a pro drug of your dopamine. Okay, in the body after metabolism levodopa is converted into dopamine, and thus how ultimately levodopa will increase your dopamine level. Okay, so that is desirable, that is highly desirable in case of Parkinson disease. Parkinson disease में आपका डोपामाइन लेवल इंक्रीज करना जरूरी है, तो उसके लिए अपन levodopa का टैबलेट लेते हैं. सो levodopa के लेने के बाद क्या होता है कि आपके पेरिफेरल ब्लड में आपका एक एंजाइम होता है दैट इज डोपा डीकार्बोक्सिलेज, वो मेटाबोलाइज करता है levodopa को, तो इनएफेक्टिव बन जाएगा वो. तो कार्बिडोपा देते हैं जो कि डोपा डीकार्बोक्सिलेज का इनहिबिटर है. अगर ये एंजाइम शांत हो गया, ये चुप बैठ गया, तो levodopa आपका अपना काम करने में सक्षम रहेगा. क्या काम है levodopa का? उसका मेटाबॉलिज्म होगा और डोपामाइन बनेगा, और वो डोपामाइन का लेवल इंक्रीज होगा ब्रेन में, वो जो कि आपके लिए बेनिफिशियल है. किसमें? पार्किंसन डिसीज में. ऑल ऑफ द अबव इज द आंसर. सो ट्रू स्टेटमेंट अबाउट द कार्बिडोपा इज डोपा डीकार्बोक्सिलेज इनहिबिटर combined with the levodopa prevents the peripheral metabolism of levodopa, and again all of the above. So in this case your answer is all of the above. So this was all about the today's 10 MCQs. आज के 10 MCQs finish है. These MCQs are compiled in these books. If anybody is interested, they can order these books from me. My numbers are given on the screen. You can order, and you can join our WhatsApp groups. You can join us. Just WhatsApp your name, college name and year of pharmacy on this WhatsApp number. Thank you very much. और आपसे रिक्वेस्ट है कि प्लीज इस वीडियो को लाइक कीजिए, आपके दोस्तों के साथ शेयर कीजिए. चैनल को अभी तक सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया तो उसको सब्सक्राइब कीजिए, और साथ ही बेल आइकन जो है उसको दबाइए, ताकि जब भी मैं अपने चैनल पे वीडियो अपलोड करूँ उसका नोटिफिकेशन तुरंत आपको मिल जाए. थैंक यू वेरी मच.